Sure.
Delighted to welcome to the podcast Rotherham's new signing, Kieran Sadlier. Kieran, welcome to the podcast.
Um, glad to. What do you mean? Glad to be here. Yeah, sorry, I was just turning something off. But no, yeah. Good evening. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what brought you to Rotherham and what made you make the move.
Number of things really. I had a few like clubs after. A few clubs interested. And this it's been a long time. It's been 5.5 months since I played. So like, it's only now, last few weeks, really started, like, clubs have started speaking and kind of coming in with offers and stuff. So no, I spoke with a few clubs, but I had a Zoom meeting with Paul Warne and the staff here at Rotherham, and I just felt like, from what they were saying and the video presentation they gave me on Zoom, was very, like, was impressive, and I just felt like I fit perfectly into what they want and had the way they play. Obviously, a big factor of playing Championship, which is what I aspire to do and what I've worked hard to get to right now. And I think that was obviously a big factor. I want to increase my chances of an Ireland call up, because obviously I was in the the provisional squads last year 3 or 4 times, and I think playing in the Championship, I think they get that a little bit more chance of a full call up. Plus Stephen Kenny, I've known Stephen Kenny like when I was playing in Ireland, so I know he's a great manager. But no, yeah, like, the video presentation they gave me was impressive. Like, when as a footballer you want somebody to, like, really make you feel welcome and want you to be at their club and fully be behind you 100%. And I felt that completely, the way Paul Warne and his staff were with me, and I think I fit perfectly, and I'm really happy to be here, to be fair.
Tell us a little bit more about the video presentation in terms of, was it on a tactical side of things, the club itself, or what exactly was involved?
So they did so they picked out loads of clips of my game at Doncaster over the last year, a year and a half, and then they compared them to clips of their own players from last season, some players that are still there now, and compared the two. And to be all sorts of things, attacking, defending, shape, tactical things, all sorts. And I think it went to a lot of effort to do that. The staff did, and it was quite impressive that, and no one else did that. And I thought they like, really want me here. Like, that's what you want to hear from a club as a player. I think a lot of players can go to clubs where they go there for the big name, they go there because, like, it's a big club or whatever, and they kind of get lost and end up going on loan or something, or don't really play as much as they want. But I've come to, like, a big club, and I feel like I can make a real impact playing.
You just mentioned there about Paul Warne, manager of Rotherham. He's been there quite a while now, and he's actually been promoted, relegated, and promoted again. So
Yeah.
they obviously have a clear idea. The football club that he's the right man to bring them forward. How big an influence was he in your decision making?
Yeah, massive, really. I know a few players that have played under him, and they can only speak so highly of him. The way he is as a manager, but also as a person as well. The way he makes you feel, you'll remember, like, we go in there every single day, like, and it's not just what you do on a training pitch, but it's the way you're treated off of it as well. And I think that's a massive thing for a manager and all the staff as well, like, to make a player feel welcome, make him feel at home. Because I think a lot of the time is, if you're happy away from football, it's a great foundation to have, to be able to perform your best at football in the job you're doing, because you've got no worries. So, like, yeah, I'd heard a lot of good things about him, and then when I met him and stuff, it all came very clear to me, like, of what he was like. And I'm looking forward to working with him this season and next season, and going forwards.
In the presentation itself, or in talks, they mentioned Rotherham's ambitions for the season, or I suppose your own ambitions as well, going forward for the 2020-2021 season?
And then going down and then coming back up again. like they're not newbies to the league. Like they're experienced. There's some experienced players in there too, and I'm sure they'll know what to do. And I think they want to make an impact on the league, not just try and like survive, but make an impact on the league and perform well. And like anything can happen. You never know. It's so hard to call before a season starts. You never know what's going to happen. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what we can do this season.
And so you mentioned you've had a long last couple of days. I suppose for those people like myself that wouldn't really, only hear bits and bobs about transfers, what's involved for a player over the last couple of, say, 24 or 48 hours?
Okay, so like you'll agree on a contract, and then obviously the medical. You go and do a medical, but it's a very thorough medical. You go through every part of your body, previous injuries, previous health problems, anything like that. You go through everything, your medical records, everything. They get references from your old club on what you like on and off the pitch, medically as well. And then you do all your tests, your strength tests in the gym, your balance test, agility test, and then you do like blood tests and you run in and your fitness wise. And then after that, you'll have to go over to the hospital. So I went up to Leeds and did all my body scans for about 2 hours lying in a machine. So, and then like you pass them or you fail them, they could find something in there, like because it's so thorough, they know literally everything about your body. So touch wood for me, like I've never had any bad problems, so I think I was kind of straightforward. But for some lads, like I don't know, some other lads, like they've had injuries before, so they need to be managed properly. So yeah, that took up most of the day yesterday, and then today was my first day in. Signed this morning and then trained straight after. So it's just trying to settle in as well.
One thing on the, say, for example, the fitness test, what would be the minimum requirement, or can you give us a couple of examples of what you have to do?
So we'd do like treadmill runs, just testing your blood every 3 minutes. They'd prick your finger and take your blood and test it. I think it's something to do with lactic or something. I'm not sure. I just do it. I don't really go into the detail. I don't really know the details, just as long as I'm doing all right. Then we do like a mile run or something just to test your stamina and stuff. I think for me, it was just to get a base of where I'm at, because I've not played for 5.5 months, and that's a long time out for a footballer. Obviously, I've done stuff to keep conditioned over that time, but it's not the same as going into a competitive game. So I think it was just as a base, really, of where I'm at and where I can improve from maybe from now to the end of pre-season.
And you spoke there about the 5.5 months. It's obviously something that, your fitness won't be at the same level, but also the potential for an injury to come. How have you found, first of all, that start back into training, and over the lockdown, did you have a few light bulb moments and think this is going to drive me on to be a better player?
Yeah, like it was very strange because obviously back in March when it all started, I was having to keep fit because of the league was still like undecided, and it went on and on for ages. I think a lot of players were just like didn't know where to come or go, like trying to stay fit here. But the longer this goes on, I can't really stay match fit to then just jump straight back into competitive games where at the end of the season where it's like all or nothing for teams. So like, and that is where injuries happen, because you put weight on and your body's not used to carrying that weight and you fall awkwardly or something silly like that. So it was like, I'd go over the park, we'd do like 4 sessions a week, and we'd have to put them in our watch or our phone and on Strava, an app called Strava, and you have to send it over to, this is when I was at Doncaster, and they'd make sure that you're doing it. So you had to do it. But obviously the season got cancelled, and then we kind of just got told just to kind of just relax and take our break. But taking your break when you can't really go anywhere is a bit different. So like you're just kind of sitting there, so you want to go outside and go for a run just to pass the time. So to be fair, I feel all right. I feel actually okay. I'm not match fit, but like I feel decent enough to be able to build something from it. So that's where I'm at the moment.
Give us a little bit of a couple of examples on the training involved there. So without a football, for when Doncaster would have sent you, would it have been, you know, the 5K runs that you see on social media? Would you guys have been involved, or would it have been a lot more shorter, sharper runs?
Yeah, so most of our work when we were at Doncaster and the lockdown was without a ball. So we'd do a lot of we could do agility runs, doggies, line and back. Standard things, to be honest. You curve your runs and different things. And we would do a 5K time trial every week. We do a 1K and a 2K time trial as well, just to kind of just to keep it kind of competitive as well, I'd say. Just like some of the boys.
What sort of times were they?
To be fair, at Doncaster, we're quite a fit team. So I think myself and two of the other lads got very good scores in the 5K. We got just over 18 minutes. So at the start of lockdown, I was on 20 minutes. So I got fitter and in lockdown, 5K wise, and actually got it down by 2 minutes somehow. But I think it was just, I was going on one of those crazes for 10 weeks where I just ate super healthy and just had nothing else to do. So I've carried that on now, which is actually a positive, I'd say, I've taken out of it. But yeah, it improved my fitness. But yeah, so we'd do things like that. We'd implement a ball sometimes, but very rarely. Not really much you can do when you're on your own.
And just to go through your career for those of you listening who maybe don't know about your career, Kieran, you started off in the West Ham Academy. That's where you also met Irish international Shawnee Maguire there. You then you lost your contract there. You went up to Scotland, and then you came to Ireland rather, and you signed for Sligo Rovers. What made you make the decision to go from the UK to Ireland, and what made you sign for Sligo?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, hear you perfect.
Yeah, go on. So say that again. What made me what? That's the last I heard.
What made you make what made you make the move from Sligo to Ireland? Or sorry, what made you make the move from Scotland to Sligo?
Well, I went to Scotland and I came down to Peterborough, but I didn't play much. So the manager at Peterborough that signed me, he left Peterborough after about 10, 15 games. Halfway, I think it was 8 months into the season. No, a bit less than that, sorry. And he went over to Sligo eventually, became the manager. So he took me over there with one or two other players. And so he was one. I didn't really know much about Sligo at all. I knew the place, but I'd never been there. And it was a massive gamble because I knew nothing about it. I knew nothing about the league. I knew in the Irish setup from the under 15s all the way up to 21s. That's all I knew. So I asked a few players what it was like over there, and they talked quite highly of it. So I thought, I need to play football. It's the most important thing. I don't care about anything else, about money, about being in a big club. I just wanted to play football. So it kind of gave me the perfect opportunity to, like, as a platform to showcase my stuff. And I ended up doing well. Got a move. Cork bought me. Went to Cork, and we ended up winning things. So in the end of my 3 years, I played loads and loads of football, scored loads of goals, won a few things, and got a lot of experience, which set me up for my move back to Doncaster. So what made me go out there was just a gamble, I guess.
And then obviously you play European football in Cork, in Turner's Cross. What's that like, playing for a club like Cork, who's a bigger club than Sligo, and getting to finals in the Aviva, and from someone that moved from like you said, moved from Peterborough over to Ireland? Did you ever think you'd play in a final in front of 30,000-40,000 in the Aviva?
No, it was quite surreal actually, because I remember when I left Sligo, I got I got the ferry home, back to Liverpool, I think it was, and Holyhead. And I remember going past, I could see the Aviva, and I remember thinking I'd love to play there. And then I came back, and that season I ended up playing at the Aviva at the end of the season, which was crazy. I was thinking, that's weird. Like, I've just literally wanted to say I want to play there, and I end up playing there. I think it was 36,000 people we played in front of, and it was an unbelievable moment. And I know I came from West Ham, and everyone thinks, oh, you've experienced loads of great things at West Ham, but honestly, like, you don't. Like, you just play academy football. You play under 23s. It's crap. Like, so like, playing in the Aviva in a competitive match for a cup final is amazing. Like, it's one of the best moments of my career so far, 100%.
And then obviously scoring the winning penalty obviously should bring back fond memories.
Yeah, like that. My family were there watching, and it was brilliant because I think that kind of announced myself to Cork kind of thing, because it took me a while to settle in. They were a team that was 18 points clear when I joined them. Like, I just felt like when we won the league, I was like, well, I haven't really done anything myself here. Like, yeah, I've kind of just robbed the league medal. Like, so to actually play a massive part in all the cup games and then score the winning penalty, I thought, I actually deserve this one. And then we went on to the next season. We come second in both the cup and the league. But then that was the one where I felt like I was kind of like one of the main players kind of thing. So, it set me up. It was great. It was 3 years, amazing times of my career. I met so many good mates and stuff as well that I still speak to now. So.
And then how did you find Doncaster? And one thing I'm going to ask you about Doncaster is you obviously got signed by Grant McCann, and then he went to Hull, and Darren Moore came in. How hard is it when you're at a club and you're trying to establish yourself under a manager, and then a new manager comes in and you have to go through that process again? How hard is that mentally?
Yeah, so he's brought me. Yeah, so Grant brought me over. I knew Grant, Cliff Byrne, assistant, two very, very good coaches, managers. Get on with them still now. So they brought me over. Yeah, I've done really well. It took me a little bit of time to get up to speed with things. We've got to the playoff semi-final, took a penalty in that, scored there, and thought, right, next season is going to be my season. Like, I'm going to kick on. And then obviously I think I got back from America on holiday and they'd both gone to Hull. So I was thinking, not again. I have to start again now, because anybody could come in. He could not like me as a player. And we didn't have a manager. No, we didn't have. We had 2-3 players. I think we had 3 players that had signed, who the previous manager had signed, and like they'd just come in the door, like, and they'd got the manager that they signed for wasn't a player anymore. So it was like we were like, we didn't know what was going to happen. But then, to be fair, Darren Moore came in, and Jamie Smith, and they were brilliant. Like, they suited exactly how I wanted to play, or I suited how they wanted to play. Sorry, and very good too.
Tell us a little bit about your style of play, in terms of, you played a lot on the wing for Doncaster. For those that want to keep an eye on you from an Irish perspective, in terms of call-ups, etc., where would be your best position? Would be out on that wing?
On the wing. Played a lot on the left, but I've played a lot on the right now too. Played a lot on the right at Doncaster this season. Learned different things, and those things came they were new to me, like different runs and things like that, and the confidence to take players down the outside on my right, because I do it on my left, even though I'm right-footed. It sounds strange, but just as a footballer, sometimes as a winger, if you're right-footed, you prefer playing on the left. But then I also played up front as well at Doncaster for the first half and quarter of the season, and did well up there. So played many positions. So I'd say wing's my favourite position, but like, I can mix it up really, because at Cork we were quite direct, but then Doncaster we were very like neat and tidy. We passed a lot, and so I can kind of mix it up. It's good to have, like, you can mix things up. And so however, like, we play at Rotherham, I can add those different experiences into my game and kind of make it whole, make it one. You know what I mean?
And what's next then for you, Kieran? You're looking to try and push on with Rotherham and get find your feet in the championship, and then you've talked there about an Irish call-up. How important is the next couple of years in your career?
Yeah, it was like I was kind of at 25 years old and 26 next, at a bit of a crossroads. I'm thinking, right, this next career move is a big one for me. I'm going to get to 28, which is where you get into your prime, 28 to 31, where you supposedly play your best football and your best condition. So now I really need to, like, make a wise decision. And I think playing championship football was a must for my progression. I wanted to go to the next level. Obviously, I want to get an international call up. That's 100% one of my main targets for the year. But my main target is to perform well for Rotherham and do as well as we can for Rotherham. I want to make, I think the whole team want to make an impact on the season and do really well. And I'm really looking forward to doing that. So,
there's a bit of uncertainty as to when fans will be allowed back into grounds. Have you had much experience of behind closed doors football?
Yeah, I played plenty of behind closed doors games before. It's not the same. It's not the same at all. But it'd be weird. It will be weird. But hoping they can come back as soon as possible. I don't know. I don't know when it's going to happen. Maybe October, apparently, but I'm not sure. Different lockdowns going on over the country. But yeah, like back in when we were under 23s, we played a lot of games with hardly any people there. So it's not the same. But you need the crowd there. But which is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, listen, Kieran, you've been brilliant with your time. We're just going to end with a couple of quick fire questions.
Sure.
First one, your favourite stadium that you played in?
Favourite stadium I've played in? Oh, wow.
Bearing in mind there'll be a few Cork City fans hoping Turner's Cross is somewhere.
No, I've got to say the Aviva. 100% the Aviva. Yeah. Upton Park was there as well, because Upton Park's got history.
Your best teammate you played with?
Best teammate I've played with, like ability-wise.
Yeah.
Ooh, ability-wise, talent-wise, you've probably heard it a lot. Ravel Morrison.
Wow. Yeah.
Talented.
You hear that a lot. So you also played a bit of the academy with him.
Yeah, he was in our 23s a lot, just when he was coming back from injury or just when he was playing. Yeah, super talented.
Your toughest opponent then? When I say toughest, as in you're the best opponent you've come up against.
Best opponent I've come up against. I've played. If you count a training game, then it's Messi. I've played against him.
No way. When was that?
Yeah, Argentina came over. They were playing at West Ham Stadium against Croatia at Upton Park, the old stadium. And they phoned up West Ham and they said that they needed to train they needed a place to train. So West Ham were like, okay, we can use our training pitches. And Croatia did too. And then Argentina said, look, we need like an 11 to play a training game against. So they said to us, look, tomorrow Argentina are coming, and we thought it'd be their 23s team, their Olympic team or something. And then they were like, no, this is the full team. So we had a look online, see who travelled, and literally every single player you could think of, Aguero, Messi, Di Maria, Lamela, Mascherano, they all travelled. So we played against them, lost 5-0, but I don't care. Like, to say I played against him, like, is something not many people can say. So
you didn't get to swap jerseys, did you?
No, I got a photo of him, but no, he's unbelievable. Yeah, best player in the world, best player ever. So,
next up,
I'd say him.
Next up, your favourite goal you've ever scored?
Favourite goal, most important goal to me, probably. Most important, favourite goal. Not sure about favourite goal really. Most important goal is probably, I've got to say, my first ever professional goal for St Mirren. It was against Kilmarnock, just a header. It was a simple tapping with my head, but to get that first ever professional goal was special. I've got some good goals, but I don't really know. A few headers maybe. I quite like headers. I think they're quite good. I'd say the first professional goal.
And then last couple. Then your proudest achievement in football so far.
Proudest achievement in football. Winning the FAI Cup is up there. One of the biggest achievements is obviously being on that list for the Ireland squad, albeit provisional squad, but still like that was a big achievement for me, and like a stepping stone for me to go to the next level. Yeah, I'd say that.
And then last one, then give the listeners a good TV series to watch. What would you recommend? What have you got into over lockdown?
Did you hear what I said?
No, say it again. Start again. So yeah, TV
It's
series.
it's very old, but a lot of people have seen it. But Only Fools and Horses is my favorite TV series.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Jail boy, no better man.
yeah, Del Boy and Rodney.
Kieran, you've been amazing. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
No worries, pleasure.
All the best.